These are quite possibly the finest summer fragrances ever crafted. At least I think so.
Smash like!
I can tell you for a fact that this is the best smelling channel on YouTube. And I'm James from that same channel. Summertime, guys. You gotta wear those fresh fragrances. You gotta put your interlude band away. Tell Original Santal to chill for a bit. Now, if you missed my designer fragrance list, you can check that out below after this. Today's video is all about the niche fragrances or the high-end fragrances that I can't wait to wear this summer for one reason or another, but mainly because they make my nose tingle. Now, I could not just decide on 5 fragrances. I had to make it 7. So this is a list that's a little bigger, but I hope you have time to indulge me.
No!
Number 7 on this list is not really a summer fragrance. I bought it in the summer and wore it when it was warm out for the first time, and that's just kind of what I've been doing with it. It's Imitation Man by Amouage. Quite possibly my favorite fragrance, maybe. I bought it at Harrods the day it was released in London, and I bought it with my lady. It's a bit leathery and it doesn't have a lot of fresh notes, but it has a lightness to it. Great in the evenings as well. Very, very unique. Nothing smells like this. The kind of neon gradient effect is supposed to represent the time of like nylon spandex, leathery stuff, cool nightclubs, and this is definitely not a beach fragrance. This isn't like something you'd wear walking around Miami in those outdoor malls, pretending that you can afford any of that stuff. Can't stress this one enough. Very personal choice. Don't go blind buying this unless you kind of know what it smells like and you like it, then buy it. If you like it, buy it. Easy.
It's so easy.
Number 6 is Bond number 9, The Scent of Peace. Another Bond number 9 fragrance made one of my spring lists up here, dude. It also made my strongest fresh fragrance list. And that's because it is. This is a very potent fragrance, and it comes from the same sort of vibe as Aventus. It has that really nice fruity quality to it. Major, major, major compliment getter here. Major. I will say tread softly when it gets really, really hot, because some fruit notes lean sour, some lean sweet. This one's on the sweet side. And if it gets hotter outside, it'll become sweeter. It'll become a little too much to handle. That being said, it still works in the summer because you can just apply less of it. That's always what I say. If you have a strong fragrance and you're worried about being too strong, then just be a bit weaker. Apply less. Apply from a distance. The less of it gets on you. Don't do that, you're just wasting your fragrance there. But excellent fragrance, but yeah, can be a bit strong, so just be careful on how you apply it. Sliding into the top 5 is Aqua de Parma Cedro de Taormina. This is quite possibly the dumbest Aqua de Parma fragrance there is. And by that I mean, it's a dumb reach, okay? You can be as dumb as you want and just reach for it and you'll be fine. It's a very easy to wear fragrance, even more so than Colonia, which is kind of the gold standard of gentleman fragrances. It was basically their original release. That one is a little bit dated to some people. It's a bit sharp and a bit too aromatic. This one is just kind of straightforward. Cedar and citrus comes together beautifully, very masculine, very fresh, very, very easy to spray on yourself. I go nuts with this. I used to have a 180 ml bottle, the big boy, spray it on like crazy. It smells lovely. You can't really put too much on. That's also because you want to put too much on, because if you don't, you won't smell it very well. I still love this stuff, even on its second bottle, but sometimes I just want a fragrance that isn't quite as dumb. You need a little bit of a smarter reach, something a little more strategic and a little more elevated, because we're talking about niche fragrances here, okay? Things shouldn't come easy, okay? Niche fragrances require thinking and comprehending and analyzing. Analysis. And unfortunately, number 4 doesn't require any of that because it smells like a designer fragrance to me. It's Percival by Parfums de Marly. No shade, because I love this house and I love pretty much every fragrance that I've tried by them. I don't own a ton of them anymore just because they are expensive, but they don't smell insanely different, which is one of my big criteria points when it comes to niche fragrances. It's niche, so it should be different. It should satisfy a very specific thing or purpose. It should set itself apart from the rest of the crowd. But I'll tell you what, you'll look at the notes and you'll see lavender some chemical stuff like ambroxan, a bit of citrus and balsam fir. It smells pretty straightforward and masculine and whatever, but where it does earn its niche points is the quality. It performs very well. It lasts all day, even though it smells quite fresh, which is kind of a thing that never happens in tandem. And you could arguably save money by going with something like this because you use way less and it lasts throughout the entire day. And you'll enjoy it more throughout the entire day. But it's only number 4, guys, because number 3, 2, and 1, whew, oh boy. Quite possibly one of the most expensive fragrance purchases in my collection. It is Creed Sublime Vinny. Now, to those of you who don't know this fragrance, you're probably thinking, you idiot, why are you wearing vanilla as your main fragrance note in the summer? I don't think any of you are thinking that, but that's just what I interpret. Sublime Vinny is vanilla through and through, but what's great about it is it's vanilla and lemon, so it has a nice cool balance to it. And it's not just those 2 notes too. There's also sweetness in the dry down in tonka bean, which is fun because it's a little more dangerous than vanilla as a note. Vanilla is creamy and smooth. Tonka bean is a little bit rougher on the edges. It has a little more bite to it, a little more tang. Vanilla is the main note here, so performance is pretty darn good, man. It really lingers with you all day, and it seems to be mixed and formulated perfectly because you have that citrus kick in the beginning that really just starts your day nice, and then it starts to mellow out and the sweetness comes alive, becomes a little bit powdery, becomes a bit creamy. So then once your day's starting to wrap up a little bit, you have this nice, cute, cozy, sweet bubble enveloping you. It's also very, very expensive, so be mindful of that. And that's one of the main reasons it's not higher up on this list. Niche fragrances are meant to be splurged on. Number 2 is a lot of people's number 1. And I can see why, because it's quite possibly the nicest bergamot neroli fragrance ever made. It's by Xerjoff, and it's called Neo. Now, Neo is bergamot, it's neroli, but there's also a little bit of vetiver, and there's a bit of cardamom. So like some other high-end citrus fragrances, it's not just citrus. There is some slight woodiness and an aromatic green quality and a touch of spice too. So it goes through different levels, but clearly the star of the show is the bergamot and it's the neroli. Really powerhouse, staple, summer fragrance notes. And of all the fragrances that I've talked about, this one is probably the most unisex. I wouldn't say that makes it feminine smelling. It's just a fragrance that smells like a fragrance. It doesn't smell like a women's perfume. It doesn't smell like a men's cologne. It's just good smelling stuff. Just the same way that if you took like lime juice and stuff and put it on you, that wouldn't smell manly or feminine. It would just smell nice, I think. Originally, I blind purchased Neo. I got a 100ml bottle for the collecting aspect, but I did sell my 100ml bottle and then bought a 50ml bottle and used a decent amount of this. And the main reason for that is price. It's very expensive. And also, why get a big bottle of something that you're not completely obsessed with? It'd be one thing if you went through a full sample or 2 or 3 or a decant and you're like, no, I need this fragrance in my life. I'm gonna go get it. Then get it. But for something this costly, you should really, really like the fragrance before splurging on the biggest presentation size possible. I love Neo, clearly, by the level. But I also love the $200 I was able to get back when I downsized. Even though it's slated as being one of the best of its kind, it's still not for everyone. So please sample before you go for it. Thank you. Now, if you've been following my channel for a little while, you may know my number 1. In past lists, I sometimes neglect this guy, but I always keep coming back to it as my favorite summer fragrance ever. Designer, cheapy, nichey, indie. I'm proud to say I was the first person to show this fragrance to some other prominent YouTubers in the community. That sounds like a weird flex, but okay. Yes, there's a citrus quality to this, but the main feature in this is mint. It reminds me of a green lemon, not a lime, a green lemon, okay? Aromatic citrus, huge compliment getter as well. They don't call me the X-Man for nothing. Well, I don't think anyone's called me that in years, but my number 1 summer fragrance that I can't wait to wear this summer is Renaissance. This used to be called 1861, but now It's Renaissance, and it's an incredible fragrance. I have the old formulation, the old bottle. The new one smells just as good. So if you can get your hands on that and you've tested it and sampled it, just get that one. So guys, if you want to smell better, make sure you subscribe because I do a lot of cool videos on smelling nicely. If you liked the video, then like it. If you didn't, then dislike it, you meanie pants. But you made it through the video, which I do appreciate. If your friends smell bad, then why not share this video with them? Maybe they'll get the message. And please share your anticipated summer fragrances, whether you have them yet or not. Maybe there's a new fragrance that you're thinking of purchasing for the summer. Let me know what that is because I like knowing things. And also here's the designer list as well. If you want something a little more reasonably priced, if you don't like dealing with niche snobs like this guy, kind of. See you in the next one. YouTube outro. Engage.
Smash the like.